Yo guys, Max here. Today we are talking about Todd V. Here is another dinosaur of pickup artist. He was actually present in the project Hollywood, the place where Mystery and RSD and Owen Cook came from. And so he's been around for a while, and to this day he's still making pickup videos and sharing dating advice that most people consider relevant. But is he still really relevant? Today we're going to have a look at some of his infield interactions and we're going to figure out. I've prepared for you a good overview. I found infield footage of his that was, by the way, super hard to find and piece together. And you will see footage of him approaching girls during the day, during the night, so that you can get a good overview of what he's capable of, and you will decide whether or not you think his advice is useful and relevant. Very often we tend to think that pickup advice is going to be the shortcut to get girls, or to get girls that are even above our league, while in practice, when you apply this advice that sounds on paper, that's for sure, very smart and very logical, in practice, when you apply this advice, very often you come off as unnatural or weird or disingenuous, not in the sense that it's slick and that girls are actually going to see nothing and get manipulated, but really in the sense that the ropes are too obvious and the girls can feel it, that you're trying to do something, that you're uncomfortable, that you're trying to bring her to some place. Personally, I like most of his advice because it's very technical, but I've noticed that when you look at what he does, it comes off as very unnatural or sometimes nervous and uncomfortable, and the girls feel that he really does not have the natural vibe. But let's have a look. You will form your own opinion yourself.
You guys appear like you won't be boring, which is a good start. I said you guys appear like you would not be boring people. I like, so I guess you're the sweet nice one. I feel like you're the troublemaker then in that case. Yes? Alright. So we'll be friends. You and I will see.
So here is the first interaction at night. He's approaching girls in a club by giving them an obvious compliment, and that's really not the move. That's really not the move, because if you do this, girls are immediately going to put you in the basket of, oh, here's another guy like all the other guy. Now, I'm pretty sure Todd knows that, and so that's why very quick after in the conversation, he is trying to counterbalance that by telling them something like, oh, but I'm not sure we're gonna fit together, or I'm not sure we're a good match, I'm not sure if you're good enough for me, that kind of vibe. It comes off as very weird in my opinion. Because when you really think about it, why go up to a girl and give all your power away to the girl by giving her a compliment in a place where she has all the value in the world, in a nightclub? Because in case you didn't know, girls in the club, they are at the top of the social totem pole, and anyone else to them is a dirty peasant. So if you come up to them and you try to take value from them by giving them a compliment, asking for them to give you attention back, it's always going to put you below them. So generally we don't do that because it lowers your social capital in the eyes of those girls. Generally we want to increase the social capital before trying to make a flirtatious move in this environment. There he starts the conversation by lowering his social capital, and after he tries to bring it back up by flipping the script, getting girls to chase whatever the pickup artists call those techniques. And it is so weird in the sense of, why would you do that, this whole thing, instead of just going up to the girl and just showing her that you're attractive? Why do you have to try to create some man-to-woman frame, like I know Todd likes to say, in a place that it's going to lower your social value and where it's also obvious that if you're talking to a girl, it's because you're interested? I know Todd likes to talk about the concept of premise often, which is the idea that the girl knows that you're talking to her because you're interested in her, but in a place like that, it's just obvious that if a guy talks to girls, it's because he's interested. And so why show it to the girl from the get-go to lower your social capital and to then try to later use a technique to re-increase your social capital and your attraction in the eyes of the girl by trying to flip the script and trying to have her as the one chasing you? Why do this whole thing while you could just go up to the girl and be fun and just make her want to talk to you? It's just very unnecessary in my opinion, and there to compensate the fact that he doesn't know how to have fun with strangers. That's kind of my gripe with all the pickup artists, this concept of always holding the frame, always trying to be more attractive than the girl in the end, always trying to get her to chase, instead of just making her want to spend time with you because you're genuinely interesting. Because make no mistakes, all he's saying there in this interaction, it's all canned lines. There is nothing that's actually authentic, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with canned lines. I use a lot of them all the time. But the thing is that if the base of what you do is canned lines, it's gonna come off as weird and disingenuous, and you're basically going to fake all your interactions. If your canned lines are there to unstuck a sticky situation where you can't move forward, and those canned lines are genuine to yourself because it's, for example, stories that happened to you in the past, then it's okay. But if you're throwing canned line after canned line to try to get the girl to react in a certain way, it's going to come off as very unnatural. The girls are going to feel it, and the whole interaction is going to be super weird. You can see it there, even if they try to cut it out of the interaction. I'm not the one who edited that, but they cut out the reactions of the girls because most of the time those reactions are not enthusiastic, and of course they are not. Why would they be enthusiastic anyways? He's not bringing anything in the conversation. He's just trying to flip switch after switch after switch. I'm not a big fan of what I just saw there. If you want to do the same, to get the same caliber of girls or even better, just go up to them and joke with them. Try to bring the fun to them and see how they react. Now, it's less pick-up-y aggressive, it's less man to woman, it brings in less premise, but at that point in an interaction like that, in an environment like that, in a club, you should not start like that because you will have more success starting off by being fun and engaging. And I know I'm not telling you to be a dancing monkey, to be the nightclub's jester, but just when you go up to people, add value to them. Don't just try to flip switch after switch because everyone's going to feel that's weird. I'm not a big fan. The girls are reacting in a very yeah, whatever kind of way. That's not good in my opinion.
Excuse me. Hey. Sorry, you look adorably studious right now. Yeah. I saw the screenplay over there. I'm like, is that the last one she wrote?
The what play?
I don't know what that is. Like a screenplay or something like that sitting over there. I think someone like just threw it out in the park. Like, I hope someone picks this up and calls me. Anyway, you look very adorable. You look like you might be trouble, but you look.
I'm trouble. I'm definitely trouble.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I'm glad we just get that out of the way right up front. I have to go soon, but I'm just like a little curious about you.
Okay.
I'm Todd. You are.
So the way he's leading the interaction is very good. This footage is way better than the one we saw right before. Let's dissect that a little bit. I really like the way he's moving the conversation forward, and in general the things and the steps that he's going through when he's starting the conversation with her are very good, very relevant. He's going in, he's letting her know why he's there, he's fun and light, and he's moving the conversation forward. He's adding meat to the conversation with the screenplay, screenwriting, I don't know what, the script that he's making the conversation about, and it's relevant to the girl. That's very good. What I can see though is that he's kind of nervous, he's kind of tripping with his own feet, he's talking over the girl, he's not giving enough space in the interaction for the girl to invest, and as a result the girl to reply to him has to cut him off at some point, which is kind of awkward. We want to avoid that in general. It's better if you mark longer pauses between your sentences so that if the girl wants to talk, she has the space and the opportunity to say something, which is kind of the goal, that like kind of the thing that you want to have when you go up to a girl. You want her to talk to you, so don't talk over her like he does here. Besides that, if we really want to be nitpicky, I think he's sitting down with the girl before she shows him interest, which she can't do because again he's talking over her. But overall, pretty solid interaction. I like what I am seeing there. There is a logic, there is a direction, there are a few tiny mistakes, but to be honest, those mistakes always happen. You're not always in the most confident mood. Maybe that's the first approach he does during that day. That's cool. The overall structure and direction and way he's leading the interaction is pretty good. And on top of that, it just sounds fucking genuine compared to the interaction before. This is way, way better.
You're so strange. I like you, but you're very strange.
That's very nice of you to say. Do you typically tell people they're strange?
You are very strange. I like you, but you're strange. If you're gonna slap me, do it like you mean it.
No, I just meant backhanded.
Oh, okay.
Backhanded.
I thought you meant you were gonna give me a little.
Already I'm going to cut this right here because I've noticed something after trying to find so many of his infields and going through a lot of his footage. I've noticed that when the girl is less attractive or lower self-esteem kind of girl, he's way more relaxed, way more confident in his interactions, and you're going to see it very clearly if you compare this footage here to the one that's coming after. But here, for instance, he's talking to a girl who has very low self-esteem, and it's obvious to see because he's making the slightest, lightest, most harmless joke ever, and the girl is taking it too harshly. She's taking it at heart and she's being offended, and then he has to do damage control to make sure that the girl is not too hurt and to make sure that he's not losing the girl. That's always the problem with low self-esteem girls, and that's why I would always recommend to every guy to just go for the most attractive, most confident girls, because there is so much less bullshit. But anyways, he has to reassure the girl about the fact that he's not an asshole, because she's already hurt. She's already moved by what he says, and that's not the best sign, because by that point, anything he could do would work, because this girl is just there for attention. Maybe she likes him, maybe she wants to meet a guy, I'm not saying otherwise, but the fact that a guy is giving her attention already is making her day. I'm not saying this to bash on him again. Of course, sometimes we meet a girl and she has lower self-esteem. That's cool. We're not gonna not talk to her because of it. But just to put things in perspective, and so that you can notice when nervousness comes into play and when it affects him and how it changes his behavior when he's talking to a girl.
No, I don't hit on the first date.
Not even if you're asked to?
You tell people they're strange and then you expect them to be responsive.
I don't expect anything.
Low bar.
No, I expect a lot from people, but I don't expect a lot in terms of like, just do you. I'll be me, you be you, and we'll just see how the chips fall.
That's so charming.
You're welcome. What?
So far,
So far what?
you've called me strange. You've been like YOLO. You do me and I'll do you.
No.
Does that-
And on again, really
That
bad
would be so weird. It'd be
toxic
so
and shit.
weird.
Really?
Yeah. I'd be like, Todd, I don't even know him anymore.
Yeah. Well, that'd be weird if my name was Mike, you called me Todd. That'd be fucked up.
Sometimes you make jokes.
Are you gonna do that to me? We'll have like the most like bed busting sex. You'll roll over and be like, Mike, that was amazing. Like, fuck you.
I'd be like, wait, no, call me by my name.
I don't know. Treat me like a stranger. Long as we cuddle like 1 time in 5.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah, you like that?
1 to 5, that's all you need?
Well, it depends. What side of the bed do you sleep on?
Nah, depends on what you're looking at.
One thing's for sure though, he has verbal game. That's kind of his main thing. He is able to make his conversations verbally engaging and interesting, and girls who are open to this are going to play with this. Now, let's be honest, let's be realistic. The hottest girls don't give a shit about verbal game. I know I'm gonna make myself a lot of enemies when I say this, but this is just the truth. The hottest girls, they don't give a shit about your verbal game because they are used to guys who do that, and they know that most of the time it's bullshit. The hottest girls, they are looking for behaviors and sub-communication, and that's why this kind of game doesn't really work, as in it doesn't stick with hot girls. You will see in the next infield, but when you try to be smart and witty and have nice verbal game like that, the hot girls, the one who are used to, the one who are very feminine and demanded, they barely react because they don't care, because they know it's fluff. They only react to the way you lead your interaction and how attractive your sub-communication are. They are not going to judge you based on how smart and witty your words are. They are going to judge you based on how attractive they feel you are and how you lead the interaction. They don't care about that fluff. In truth, verbal game only works with low self-esteem girls like the one we saw in this video. So if you're a guy who deep inside your heart believes that you can't get hot girls, you're naturally going to be drawn toward this kind of material because it works on low self-esteem girls and does not work on the prettiest one. But if you're a guy with ambition who really wants to better himself and get with the most attractive woman, you will be more drawn to something that's more natural, that's more in the body language, that's more in creating sexual tension and giving space to the girl, creating vacuums for the girl to invest in the interaction. Probably you're also more attracted to all that's about self-amusing and creating conversations with girls because you're having your own fun and you're sharing it with them. Because yeah, this is what works with the high quality and the most attractive women. And honestly, I used to be a big fan of Todd V because when I first started, I had no confidence and I didn't know how to talk to girls. So of course, I started by meeting girls who had lower self-esteem because the barrier for entry was lower. Those girls are easier to talk to, and when they reject you, it feels less harsh. But over the years, eventually I figured that whenever I meet a girl who has tens or hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram and I try to have witty or smart verbal game, they don't give a shit. The only thing they react well to is leading hard and being light and having fun while doing so. Like literally, dude, if you meet a famous girl someone who's very demanded, someone who has some social notoriety, and you try to use verbal game with her, she's going to flat out ignore it. You gotta understand that deep verbal game like that is only going to work with a girl who's already very engaged with you. So either a very attractive girl that you turned into your girlfriend, and that's not always even a guarantee, or a low self-esteem girl like you see here in this video. And in my opinion, full disclaimer, that's my opinion, in a lot of what Todd V does, I don't think his game gets the hottest, most demanded girls.
To go in a minute, but I absolutely adore this look. Like, how did this even come together? You look so badass right now. What is your story? Like, there's
you don't give like a weak handshake. That's gross.
Give me hands. Nice to meet you. Okay. You're like, no, really? Okay, what do you do? What do you do for a living? Because you're like, that was very like. Do you do real estate? You do like, are you a lawyer? Like, what do you?
Do you feel the difference between this approach and the one before? Do you feel the difference in his energy? He's so much more nervous in this interaction, and of course the girl is more attractive, she's fighting back a little bit. The girl doesn't care about losing him. The girl before, she cared because she had low self-esteem. She didn't want to lose the validation of him talking to him. This girl right here, she knows she's hot, she doesn't give a shit about one more or one less guy. And you can tell he's thrown off, you can tell by his tonality, his voice, the way he's jiggling his body. That being said, he's doing what he's gotta do. It's just the nervousness that's a problem, because he comes in, he's telling the girl why he's there, which is the right move in a situation like that. Usually at night we say it's better to go in direct because girls are in groups, girls are there to stay, it's not like they are going somewhere. But in a situation like that, it's very common to meet a girl outside of the club, to go direct, to chat with her for 5-10 minutes, then you bounce to another place to have a drink with her, then you bring her back home. This happens all the fucking time, and to be honest, if I had to pick best time to pull a girl from the club, it would be after the clubs closes, right after, and do exactly that. You approach girls outside of the clubs by being very direct and light and fun. You chat them up for 5-10 minutes, you ask them to go have a drink with you before going home, and then once you're there, you ask them to go home with you after a while.
Okay. So you're like creative and inventive?
Creative enough. Like creative enough to get people.
Okay, well, that's something. That's a start, right?
Where are you from?
I just moved here.
Okay.
So I've been here for like 3 weeks.
Can we move there?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, come over here.
It's a bit unfortunate that he forgot to move the girl out of the middle of the way, and she's the one who has to do it by herself. It's just, I mean, he's nervous, man, so he forgets things. The girl is attractive, so he cares, and he makes mistakes, and so the girl has to lead, and so the girl is kind of on top in the interaction, and at that time he's the one trying to prove himself to the girl. He's chasing her, pursuing her in an attractive and entertaining way. That's why the girl stays. He's not chasing her in a creepy, weird, annoying way. He's still doing it in a kind of attractive way, but at the same time, he's clearly the one chasing her. You can tell because the difference between him chasing her and her chasing him is that he's the one making most of the conversation, and it's not even like he's making conversation to further his own fun, which will be the natural way to go about it. He is making conversation to bait for the girl to chase him, to throw canned lines for the girl to react in a certain way. And the girl is smart, she's attractive, she's used to it, she knows what's going on. She's allowing it because it's entertaining. But it's clear to everyone involved in this interaction that he is the one chasing. Again, it's not like he's having his own fun and sharing the fun to the girl, and the girl engages because she wants more of that fun.
Because you have like the most like sweet, innocent like face, but then the dress and look and then the expressions that come off that face, I'm like, this girl's gonna be trouble. What are you doing right this second? Because you seem like an interesting person. I don't know if I'll love you or hate you, but I can guarantee you're not boring.
Okay, so what am I doing right now?
Yeah, what are you up to right now?
I just left.
Okay.
I was gonna head in that direction because I parked over there.
Okay. How do you feel about a quick drink with an attractive new friend?
This is so unnecessary. This is a great example of why deep verbal game does not work with attractive girls. He's using so many words to try so hard to make his conversation engaging just out of the words he uses. The girl doesn't give a shit. He could have said the same thing in the 4 words. That's my main problem with pickup artists and Todd V and all the people who are very similar to him, who don't want to naturally generate attraction with girls and who try to do it through words and techniques. The thing is that girls know it, they see it, they are used to it. Maybe 20 years ago it worked because it was new and engaging and entertaining, whatever. Now girls are used to this. You don't have to make your sentences and your conversations so elaborate. Actually, to girls who are used to this, it's a sign that you don't know what you're doing, that you're needy and that you're trying very hard to get with them. If you really think about it, you meet a girl, she's potentially interested, and you ask her to go have a drink with you. If you say something like, oh, well, how do you think about going on a romantic date with a very cute guy that you just met randomly out of the nightclub? Okay, cool, you can say the same thing in 4 or 5 words. By the way, let's go have a drink there. If she likes you, she wants to meet a guy and she's attracted because you're attractive and engaging through your behavior, she's gonna say yes either way. And if she doesn't, she's gonna say no either way. See, that's the thing. Being so elaborate and adding so much flair to your conversations with verbal game is useless. And it's not only useless, it's actively playing against you because girls know what's happening.
You're talking about yourself because you're selling yourself. Like, okay. I got a drink though, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was very cute. You're like, wait, does he mean? Let's go across the street and see what we find.
All right, perfect.
All right, sounds good.
Alright, so here's my overall opinion regarding all what we just saw. I don't think this is very good. I think in most cases it comes off as disingenuous and a little bit strange, as in the girls are going to wonder, okay, it's kind of what a guy should be doing, but something feels fishy, something feels unnatural there. What is going on? Girls who just want a guy's attention and validation, they are going to be okay with this because they are happy a guy is talking to them. But girls who are very attractive, they are going to feel this is not the way a guy they would usually date behaves. A guy who's attractive is going to be kind of similar to that, but it's going to be also way more engaging and natural and genuine. There, it's not bad. That's the frustrating thing about what Todd says, is that everything is right and everything is on point and everything happens when it needs to happen, but it's not genuine. It's as if all the techniques he uses are there to hide that he's nervous, to hide when he doesn't know what to do, to hide when he's not naturally leading, to hide when he's not naturally engaging. And I can understand if you're a person and you're a little bit shy, or you don't want to put yourself in front of everyone for everyone to see, or you don't want to learn to be charismatic. You see this and it feels like the shortcut to get hot girls. But in truth, the hot girls, they know what you're doing. And if you do this with them, they might get along with you if they don't have any better, but they know that you are not as attractive as what you try to portray yourself to be. I know this is gonna sound harsh and polarizing, and even more so, while all that Todd says on paper, in theory, is absolutely right. But the problem is the delivery. When he behaves in front of girls using the very correct advice he has, it comes off as kind of unnatural. And that's funny because he actually has some of those natural qualities, because when he's talking to a girl who doesn't make him nervous, it looks and feels super fucking smooth. I showed you this infield right now, but the one before was way smoother because he was not nervous. He was natural and he was not afraid to lose the girl. When he talks to a girl who's actually attractive and when he actually cares, all his insecurities and limiting beliefs, they come back to the surface, and he tries very hard to use techniques that he knows, that he practiced, to hide that fact. Which brings me to my usual point when I talk about pickup artists. Do you want to learn how to fake being confident and attractive, or do you want to learn how to actually be confident and attractive? At the end of the day, the choice is yours. The advice that Todd gives is most of the time very right. But if you just live by this advice, you are going to come across as very disingenuous, and the most attractive girls, they are used to it anyways. They know and they avoid it. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, tell me in the comments what you thought about it, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.